I decided to try to bake some chicken wings, and I found a recipe. The first step is to dry out the chicken wings, and I have 10 pounds here from the wholesale club. So this is what 10 pounds of wings looks like. I just put a bunch of paper towels on my countertop, and I layered the wings on them to dry out. So for each rack, there's a cookie sheet, and then you coat a cookie rack with olive oil spray, and then you place your wings on the rack, which sits about 2 inches off of the cookie sheet. And you bake at 425 for 50 minutes. So these have cooked for 50 minutes and they don't quite look done, so I'm gonna flip them over and cook them longer. So far the wings have been in for 65 minutes, but because there were 10 pounds in 2 trays, I'm leaving them in longer. I'm just about to leave them in for another 15 minutes to brown up more. While I'm waiting for the wings to thoroughly cook, I grated up fresh Parmesan from a block of cheese, and I have it in a Ziploc bag. Because these are unseasoned wings except for a little bit of salt, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shake them up in the bag when they're finally cooked and hot, and that will coat the wings with the melted Parmesan. This was 80 minutes of cooking time and they're finally done. But if you have just one tray, I would suggest starting with 50 minutes. These look really good and juicy, and they have no seasoning except for salt. There's no olive oil. So now I'm going to place them in the bag with the cheese and give it a good shake to coat them. I mean, it's not perfect. It works a little bit, as you can see. I have a nice platter here. I'm just putting them on. I'm gonna speed up the process and toss 3 at a time. Yeah, even that works, putting more than 1 in there. I have to say, these are looking really good. So I went ahead and started doing 4 at a time, and that also works. As you can see, the tray's coming along nicely. You can give them a gentle shake when they come out of the bag so that the cheese falls back into the bag. You can see here where I didn't do that and the cheese fell on the platter. Here's one buried way underneath the cheese. These are good for keto. They're good for low oxalate, which is what I'm on. I guess they would be good for carnivore if you allow cheese. If not, just simply skip this cheese step and just eat them plain. So what a mess I made on this pan. I forgot to line it with the tin foil. They say to spray this rack with olive oil cooking spray, which I did, but I forgot to line the cookie sheet with tin foil or parchment paper or something to keep it clean during the cooking process. So as you can see, you definitely want to do that. And another note too is, in some places the chicken did stick a little bit, but overall the olive oil cooking spray did help. So I have all the chicken wings off of the first rack, and this is what my tray is looking like. Here is the second tray of wings that just came out of the oven. You can see they're nice and crispy and golden brown. So far, I'm very pleased with this recipe. In the past, I've cooked wings, but I usually use olive oil, and this recipe didn't call for any. One thing to note is you don't want to let the chicken wings cool off too much, or the cheese will not stick and melt to them. The good thing about shaking them in a bag of cheese, though, is by the time you're done with all this, they'll have cooled off. Where if you just take them out of the oven, let them cool for a little bit before biting into them, because they are scalding hot at this point. I'm on my last bag of wings here. There you have it. Look at that. A tray of wings. These are good for any kind of holiday party, office party, school function, anything you need a big platter of wings for. Christmas, New Year's, football parties, Super Bowl parties. Check this out. These look absolutely amazing. They're nice and browned, they're crispy, and they're pretty much like air baked because they were up high on these racks, as you can see. Now to clean this, what I'm going to do, because I made a mess, is I'm going to take the rack itself and I'm going to turn it upside down so it's flat against the cookie sheet, and I'm going to soak all of this in Barkeeper's Friend. I just did a video of this the other day about, washing your holiday pots and pans. When I put this and let it soak into the cookie sheet with the grid upside down on it, it will help get all of that grease up in no time. This stuff is really, really super wonderful. I just wanted to mention that again because I know it's difficult to clean pots and pans like this. So I thought that would be a helpful tip. You know it's a good recipe when I have crumbs and bones left on my plate. And as a side note, I put a little bit of extra cheese here to dip the wings in. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a tip or two. Take care.